go on to www.thezesthive.com, you'll see this drawing which you can get a copy of and you can build to it. Here is the method by which you build. This is the list of purchases and things you need to obtain, and then at the bottom there's the tools that you'll need to do it. Okay, right, I'm going to take it apart now so that people can actually see how it goes together, but I'll take it apart quickly, and then of course it will take longer to put it back together. Okay, right. These are here just to hold the roof down, and eventually they'll have flowers in. And the tray is intended to be keep watering it all the time, not just for the plants that be in the pots, but for the bees as well. See, this is made of 3 sheets, so each one is it's overlapping, but each one is light enough and simple enough to change. This is the roof insulation. It comes in 3 pieces. And what blew off there was 3 pieces of polythene like that. So if you've got bees in this end, you can have a look without disturbing the others. First of all, in the middle here, this is spare frames. This just happens to be an old comb that's been drawn out. It's a bit old and manky now, but that's what they do for it. Now they have the internal insulation, isolating a colony here and a colony here, like that. And these are the queen excluders. Sorry, not the queen excluders. These are queen excluders that have been turned into partitions, so it keeps the bees apart. Right, now all we've got to do is to take these out, which are the ZEST frames. Waiting for swarms that didn't arrive. And then this is the retaining wood frame, because this retains the bees. The bees can't get out here off the ends, so we have one of those, and the way that that's made is it's double stapled on both sides, and that's pretty rigid now. You don't need to joint it. You don't have to be a carpenter to make one of them. Even I can do it. Now in here we've just got a void. We have to remember that the default position for these entry holes, 5 on each side, the default position is that they're all closed up, except the ones that you need for the bees to get in and out. Okay, so I'll just dismantle it in order, then we'll put it back together again in order. Now the important thing about these blocks is that we achieve bond with it, which means we don't want any straight joints there at all. It's always got a step across. One of the items on the list is a paving slab, a 600mm square paving slab, which you'll need to acquire. And the 4 blocks also are just heavyweight concrete blocks that cantilever out over the paving slab, so that if there's any movement, if there were 2 slabs, they would settle differently and perhaps twist the ZEST hive. But here, with one paving slab and the cantilevers, all you have to do is check. Perfect. Perfect. That's the foundation. Right, so now we need to get these 2 bits of wood central, so they've got the same amount of overhang each end, so they're cantilevered out to take the floor load, which we're going to put on now. This plywood is intended to spread any load. It's just simple, it has to be centered in both directions, and then we can carry on and build the floor. Now you get this is a cavity batt which comes from any builder's merchant. It's 50mm thick, and you need to cut a strip off of it to make 374mm, and it's already the right length. That's 1.220. So it's central in both directions. And now I'm going to put on the bottom course, and we go round like this. Taking care to keep it central all the way. So that's the first course. So now we want to take the template away and put the top course of blocks on. So that's the second course now. Right. This is the frame containment frame of the dimensions internally that are shown here, and that sits down just loose on the top of the blocks, and the order is that this now goes in there with all the other frames, and it closes off the void. Right, and now I can load the ZEST with all the frames, and in this configuration I'm going to have a colony at each end. But if it was a strong colony, it would need all of it. We can also use them in 4 or 5 spaces for if it's queen rearing. But this is just for if you need to feed the bees, the ZEST way of doing this is what I'll now show you. This is the best ZEST way of feeding bees. If you imagine this is full of sugar syrup and these bits and pieces are floating on it, the only thing you really need for the bees now is take that cork out and put a little ramp down and they won't drown. Okay, so now I'm going to take this void template. We've used it for its primary purpose, but now we need to cut along these lines so that we can use this insulation in there and that insulation in there for winter insulation internally. Right, the insulation just slides in behind the dividing. Look at that, perfect. And we found the best cover is nothing more complicated than some polythene sheets, and 3 of them, and which overlap. Right, so this is the roof insulation. It comes in 3 pieces, and we just need to do that, that, and that. And then all we've got to do is hold that down. And the bees, of course, do always benefit from being insulated throughout the season, summer, winter, and so on. So all we've got to do now is cover this up, hold it down, and get the daffodils and tulips in the tubs.